today we will be doing a cinematography breakdown on a short film I shot a couple of months ago called Retrograde. So we shot on the Blackmagic Pixus with the Sigma FF cine lenses. We also rented our jib, which led to a substantial insurance value. Look, I like the camera, I like the Pixus. I'm not going to come out here and say it's an Alexa, but I think the image it produces is very nice. You get a lot of flexibility in post. So yeah, I'm an advocate, I'm a fan.
Did we get those cameras?
So we lit this with a big Amaran 300C softbox, balanced at 3200 Kelvin, sort of coming from across the fence, giving that soft key. You can see it here in this BTS video of me walking. That was motivated by this lamp light on the lamppost, which was actually two MCs taped together, just to give us a bit more control on the levels. Then to give them that sort of edge light, you can see here in the BTS a bit, but we had an Amaran 200C with a Fresnel, and we just pushed it through like one of those cheap circular 5-in-1 diffusers, just to soften it up a bit. And then this slow push was on the jib. And we did a few shots on the jib throughout the film, nothing crazy. I did have an extension arm on it, which meant we could do some pretty insane booms, but I think we did do some interesting things. Some nice movement. You know, we didn't have a Steadicam, so we got some moves which we wouldn't otherwise have been able to get. So this one is also really simple. Again, we had the camera on the jib, kind of booming up as a car comes down the driveway. So they're being keyed by that 300 with the softbox. And then you can see this pool of light on the driveway lighting up the ground. And that was another 300. I think it was an aperture being punched into a 6x6 diff, which my dad actually built. And we got the cloth for about $20 on Temu, which was a fantastic deal. So yeah, and then as we boom up, we get these diamond flares from the lenses, which look lovely, just from the car headlights. Now this is the opening sequence, so we mainly lit this one practically with the flashlight. But again, we had that 300C on a softbox pretty far away, just to sort of key them a bit, bring the levels up. And this first shot is actually on my Sony A7 III. So we couldn't really fit the camera rig in there, and I didn't really want to have to make an extended bag. And we were super short on time. We had like some SFX stuff going on. My mum and dad were doing SFX, just all hands on deck. So I was just like, you know, let's just do it on my Sony. So we chucked the 24mm on my Sony with a E to PL adapter, and you know, Bob's your uncle, color matched in post, and it was fine.
Job 147A, pre-checks complete, no bugs.
And then we did some stuff on VHS because I wanted to make it vintage. I wanted the vintage look. So yeah, I used an old Sony VHS cam that my parents had, and you know, we got a digital converter. It's like a bunch of cables basically that converts your cassette into digital on your computer. And then, you know, we shot that, and it was super easy to expose. The camera had this night mode, night shot, which we used. So yeah.
Billy, get over here. Billy!
Please
Shut the fuck up!
And then for these shots, it was kind of always my plan to use practical lights, because I didn't really want to have to set up lights, and I felt that they would look decent. So what we did was we kind of played around. I had a chat with my DP, and we talked about sort of which lights in this shed would look the best. So we ended up deciding on this sort of left panel. And then, you know, that's it. We maybe had a reflector here and there, but overall we were just using that to light these scenes, and I think it turned out fine. So yeah. And then finally we had this macro shot, which again, I didn't really have the budget to rent out a probe lens. You know, it's one of those things, it's like, I could probably do it some other way. So I did a bit of looking, and I found these macro extension tubes, which people were talking about. So they basically just extend the distance from, you know, your mount to your lens to get that effect. And yeah, I think it worked fine. A little bit soft, but, you know, is what it is. So yeah, thanks for listening.